So I just saw Chainsaw Man the movie Reze arc in theaters, and look, it's a very fine movie, but there is one reason why this movie is so good. There's only one reason why it got a perfect score on Rotten Tomatoes. There's only one reason why it is definitely Oscar worthy. And I'm about to explain to you right now. But before I do, I want to let you know that there will be some spoilers. I'll try not to go hard, but I can't guarantee it. So if you want to see it first, go watch it. It's a really great movie if you don't want to be spoiled. But make sure you save my video first. Save it so that way you can come back to me and see my pretty face later, all right? So I'll give you a minute to think about it, give you a minute to let it marinate before I move on. Do 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 do. All right, let's begin. This movie is so cinematic, and what I love about it is that they just create a blend of emotions that you just don't see coming. I mean, even from the still shots of the trash can, the still shots of the abandoned school that Denji and Reze are breaking into, there is just a sense of calm with this film that you can't really understand, but you just can't really look away from either. I mean, it's just so beautiful to see this animation, work like this. And while Chainsaw Man is pretty avant-garde as a series, this movie really steps it up a notch. Now, another thing I should say is if you haven't seen this series, know that this movie takes place directly after that first season. So you might want to watch it before you go into this movie. But if you don't care, it doesn't matter. Just wanted to point that out there. Given that the studio behind it is MAPPA, you know that the animation's going to be amazing. But there's something to it that makes it feel way more different. Like the blood of the demons and the devils, in the series. You see that purple blood, you see that little abstract style of the characters. Honestly, this movie feels a lot more like Science Saru's Devilman Crybaby, more than MAPPA. But, it's just really a testament to how far MAPPA was willing to go to really kind of change and evolve in the animation process for this film in particular. When it comes to the animation, I do want to point out as well that the cinematic part of the film is also because of the mood that you feel. And I mentioned this when it comes to the calmness of it all, but there is also a very emotionally heavy part to the series as well. And a lot of that is when Denji and Reze are around each other. I mean, from the moment they first laid eyes on each other to the pool scene, that magnificent pool scene, you're going to feel all sorts of happiness and just delightfulness when seeing those two on screen. I mean, they really enjoy being around each other, and you feel that beauty between the characters. You feel their attraction, even if Denji tries to convince himself that he's not interested in her. He really is. And it's that cohesiveness with that animation and the music, which the compositions are otherworldly. I mean, they are so beautifully done. They're so poetic. They are so magnificent. It feels very Hisaishi-like, if you know what I mean. There's also a lightheartedness to this film that can't be denied. And look, it reminds me of Look Back, which coincidentally is another Tatsuki Fujimoto work turned into an anime movie, and came out last year. If you haven't seen it, definitely watch it. It's about these two girls who are very excellent mangaka. They basically blossom a really beautiful friendship because they're two different people. One's very explosive, very overconfident, very extroverted, while the other's, she's very introverted, very shy. But they do make a beautiful friendship, and we see that friendship evolve in the film. And it really resembles that tone in this film, Chainsaw Man, because we see Denji and Reze, who are two different people, but they do work together. you know? And you're really rooting for them to stay together and to just make that plunge. I really feel that Mappa's went above and beyond the Call of Duty to make this film as beautiful and as complex as possible. And the action here is very, very cinematic as well, if not epic. And we see that between Denji and Reze, who we learn who she really is. It's really wonderful to look at. The crazy angles, the explosive nature of it all. I mean, there is just something beautiful with the fights. It feels kind of like Freerun a little bit, because when you see the battles in Freerun, they're like elegant to look at, you know? Even though they're not particularly big and bold like here in Chainsaw Man, but we see a lot of just elegant moving and things like that here. And it's really interesting how they contrast these fight scenes in the film. And the crisp sound effects really have a big impact on this film. I mean, one in particular that I just can't get enough of is that point when one of the hunters slash one of the devils, and you just hear that slash, that slice that kills them. Like, it's just so crisp, so clean. I mean, we see plenty of sound effects just like that just make this movie so impactful. And you just really are enamored and really involved, immersed into this movie. Also, the one thing about this movie that is very impressive is its unique ability to transition so effortlessly between the soft and harder parts of the film. I mean, one moment you see fights and things like that, while the next moment you just see them talking. And I just really love how it doesn't feel forced. I mean, you feel and you can see how the characters are moving about in the world, and it just kind of switches pretty well between the scenes. And I think that's really an underrated part of this movie that nobody really talks about. Now, the Reze arc in the manga is pretty short, and in this movie, I think it adapted it pretty much one-to-one. I mean, the only extra details I really came across is just the points where there's just more emphasis to the characters, like Denji and Reze's romance and things like that. We saw a lot more between the two of them than we would get in the manga, and it's pretty warranted, to be honest. I mean, it's a movie, you know, and you want to add that feel and that comfort between the two characters. You want to feel that in a film, and I think they really succeeded there. Also, I feel like if they didn't add that emphasis in there, that the runtime probably would have been a lot shorter than an hour and 30 minutes. So I think to pad that runtime up, they also had to do it. Because look, at the end of the day, 90 minutes, while it's pretty impressive, you know, for a theatrical release, it's pretty much the bare minimum when it comes to it. I mean, there's plenty of anime films, like we saw with Demon Slayer, that went well over 2 hours. Almost 3. So, you know, the fact that we do get, you know, about the standard theatrical runtime, you know, probably a bit less, is pretty warranted. And honestly, I don't think they needed to go any higher anyways. I mean, I would have loved to see more, not if it really sacrifices the integrity of the film. And I think it really would have if they tried. So, I mean, I feel like the runtime it's at is perfect. So there's no complaints coming from me. Now, is this movie worth the 3-year wait time? Well, that's for you to decide. But honestly, you could tell they took great care and dedication to making this movie as beautiful as possible and as wonderful as possible. And look, I know you're wondering, what's the answer? Because I talked all about the movie, but I didn't say the one reason why this film is so magnificent. Well, if you did catch on to the context clues, you probably will have had the answer already. But if you haven't, the answer is simple. It's Ghibli-esque. And before you sit there and get at me and say, look, why? How is that possible? I explained it to you. It's so cinematic. I mean, the moments where things are just so mundane, the soft parts of the series where they really appeal to your emotion, those are the things that Ghibli does so well in their films. And that's why people love Ghibli. It makes you feel like you're in another world. It makes you calm. It makes you feel like you're at home, just hanging with your friends and your family. You know, that's what this movie does for a big part of the time. Now, there are points where things get pretty explosive and things like that, but, you know, it's still all within the elements of Chainsaw Man. You know what you're going to get with this series if you are watching it. So the action's going to be there, but the moments where it's not are the points that really matter. And I think that's really the beautiful side of Chainsaw Man. And I think those are the points that really make this so Ghibli-like. Now, thanks for watching. If you just can't get enough of me and want to show some love and support, please like this video, subscribe. It really does help. And look, if you just can't get enough of these anime movies and you want to hear me talk about the one that came out just a couple months ago, which is wild, it's already been a couple months, I talked about Demon Slayer, the Infinity Castle movie, and it was a great time I had with one of my friends. I mean, we talk about our favorite Hashiras and all that, so definitely check that out. It should be on the screen there or there, somewhere on the screen. Now have a great day, a great night, a great morning, wherever it is, wherever you are, and don't forget, Kokishin Amote Kudasai.